Hello, today I am going to discuss of a very important aspect of simple stress and strain, that is the stress strain diagram of ductile and brittle material. In many times these questions had been asked in the question paper also in the university exams. We draw and describe the stress strain diagram for ductile material or brittle material, or explain the every points, salient points. So this is the stress strain diagram for ductile material or ductile metal. Now look at this diagram. This is a stress in the vertical in the y-axis and strain in x-axis. In the x-axis it is strain, in the y-axis it is stress. Now if you increase the force, then the stress is directly proportional to strain up to a certain point, that is called the proportional limit. Means up to the proportional limit, the stress is directly proportional to strain. Means if you remove this load at the point, the proportional limit, then your body will come to the original position with shape and size. And then another point is given, yield point, or is called elastic point. This is the point at which if you remove the load, then the body will come to the original position, but with a little deformation. And after this, beyond this point, the yielding starts. The yielding starts and it will go. Then it will go until the fracture occurs. Now there are a few points are there: A, B, C, proportional limit, elastic limit, yield point, then the permanent set. What is permanent set? That I am going to define it. See, what is limit of proportionality? Limit of proportionality is the point till which the body extension will be directly proportional to the force applied. Means why? Stress is proportional to strain. And what is elastic limit? Elastic limit is the point at which the body will still show elastic behavior. That is, it will still return to its original shape, but with a little deformation after removing the load. It is also called the upper yield point. Then what is yield point? Yield point is the stress level at which metal or other material ceases to behave elastically. That is, it stops to behave elastic behavior. At this point, plastic deformation starts. Means after the yield point, the plastic deformation starts. Then there are 2 points. What is upper yield point and what is lower yield point? The B is the upper yield point, C is the lower yield point. See, the upper yield point is the maximum load at which deformation starts. Starting of the deformation means dislocation are started moving in the material. Means material dislocation started. Lower yield point corresponds to the minimum load that is required to maintain the yield. Normally we use the lower yield point to determine the yield strength of the material being tested, because the upper yield is momentary. Upper yielding point is momentary, but lower yield points you can find out the yield strength of the material by knowing the lower yield point. Then what is permanent set? Permanent set, it is the amount by which material stressed beyond its elastic limit fails to return to its original size or shape when the load is removed. Means it is the amount by which a material stressed beyond its elastic limit, after the elastic limit, and fails to return its original position or original size or shape when the load is removed. Means if the load is removed, it fails to return its original position. Now how much percent is, suppose it's the point C, the point C, if you see, then the permanent set is less than 1%, less than 1%. Now for the brittle material, a brittle material, if one subjected to stress, it breaks with a little elastic deformation. It breaks at a little elastic deformation and without significant plastic deformation. Means plastic deformation is almost negligible. Brittle materials absorbs relatively less energy prior to fracture, even those of high strength. Now breaking is often by a sound, by a snapping sound. So this is the stress strain diagram for brittle material. So these are the stress strain diagram for brittle and the ductile material. If it comes to the exam, then you have to draw the diagram and you have to define the every points. So with this, I have completed. If you have any queries, you can mail me. This is my mail ID. Thank you very much.